Las Vegas has long been celebrated as the entertainment capital of the world, a city that never sleeps, a place where dreams and fortunes collide under glowing neon lights. Tourists once flocked here by the millions, drawn by promises of glamour, adventure, and the chance that one lucky pull of a slot machine could change their lives forever. But in recent years, and especially in 2025, that glittering promise has begun to fade. Instead of excitement, many visitors now describe disappointment. Overpriced meals, endless hidden fees, and an atmosphere that feels less welcoming and more exploitative. The numbers tell part of the story. In June alone, Las Vegas saw an 11.3% drop in visitors, which translates to roughly 500,000 fewer people walking its iconic strip in a single month. Casinos, restaurants, and shows are still running, but there are fewer crowds, less laughter, and more empty spaces where the city once overflowed with life. The decline raises troubling questions. How did a city built entirely on hospitality and spectacle begin driving away its very lifeblood, the tourists? For many, the biggest issue is cost. Las Vegas was once seen as a place where middle-class families and everyday workers could escape for an affordable vacation filled with excitement. Today, the reality is far different. Hotel rooms that once cost $50 now regularly charge hundreds, often with additional resort fees hidden until checkout. Meals that once promised unbeatable value now come with inflated prices that rival New York or San Francisco. Even parking, which used to be free and convenient, now comes with hefty daily charges. What was once billed as an accessible getaway has transformed into an expensive trap where the feeling of being nickel-and-dimed overshadows the fun. This frustration isn't just anecdotal. Surveys show growing resentment among tourists who feel tricked by the constant add-ons and upselling. Many say they arrive expecting affordable entertainment, but leave feeling exploited. Instead of returning year after year, as millions once did, they are crossing Las Vegas off their travel lists entirely. Other destinations, from Florida, theme parks, to international resorts, are stepping in to capture those disillusioned travelers. But the crisis in Las Vegas isn't just about tourists. It's also about the people who live and work there. Thousands of hotel staff, casino workers, and entertainers built their lives around the steady stream of visitors. With fewer tourists, many are facing reduced hours, shrinking tips, and an uncertain future. Rising rents in the city itself only make matters worse. Ironically, the very workers who keep the city alive are struggling to afford housing just blocks away from the glittering casinos they serve. For them, Las Vegas isn't the city of dreams. It's a daily struggle to survive in an economy that no longer guarantees stability. The heart of Las Vegas has always been its casinos, but even here, the magic seems to be slipping. For decades, the idea was simple. Give visitors a thrill. Let them feel like they have a fair chance, and they'll keep coming back. But over time, the odds have quietly shifted further in the house's favor. Today, many games offer worse payouts than ever before. What once felt like fun and possibility now feels like an expensive trap. Take slot machines, for example. Once promoted as light-hearted entertainment, they have become tighter, with lower payout percentages that leave players feeling drained faster than in years past. Even table games such as blackjack and roulette have introduced subtle rule changes that tilt the balance further toward the house. For the average visitor, it means the money they brought to gamble disappears quicker, leaving less to spend on food, shows, or souvenirs. Instead of walking away with good memories, many leave with empty wallets and the sense they've been played. Adding to this frustration are the hidden costs built into nearly every part of the Las Vegas experience. Hotels now routinely charge resort fees that can range from $30 to $50 per night. Fees that often don't even cover additional services. A pool pass, Wi-Fi, or gym access might still cost extra. Concert tickets, once a highlight of the Vegas experience, now come with layered fees that push final prices far beyond what's advertised. Even basic necessities like bottled water or a quick snack can cost several times more than in other cities. For travelers who once considered Las Vegas a place of value, this shift feels like a betrayal. Social media platforms are filled with reviews from disheartened tourists warning others about the mounting costs. These complaints travel fast, influencing potential visitors before they even book a flight. When disappointment becomes the dominant story told about a destination, fewer people choose to go. And that's exactly what's happening now. Beyond the casinos and hotels, another issue is reshaping Las Vegas housing. While tourists complain about inflated prices during their stay, residents face a much harsher reality. Rent in Las Vegas has climbed 2 levels that rival many coastal cities, despite wages in the service sector remaining relatively low. A hotel maid or restaurant worker often spends more than half their paycheck just to keep a roof overhead. For some, even that isn't possible. Homelessness has grown visibly in the city, with encampments appearing not far from the Strip itself. For visitors, this contrast, the glittering lights of billion-dollar casinos next to streets lined with struggling families, creates a sobering picture that undercuts the city's image. The housing issue isn't just a social crisis, it's also an economic one. If workers can't afford to live in the city, the very foundation of the hospitality industry begins to crack. Already, businesses report higher turnover as employees leave in search of more affordable places to live. Service quality suffers, further dampening the visitor experience. In a city where reputation and first impressions mean everything, this cycle becomes dangerous. Another factor eroding Las Vegas's appeal is the growing influence of large corporations. For decades, the city thrived on competition, independent casinos and resorts vying to outdo one another with better shows, more generous comps, and creative attractions. That rivalry fueled innovation and gave visitors reasons to keep coming back. But over time, the market has consolidated. A handful of massive corporations now own the majority of the Strip, and with less competition, the drive to offer value has weakened. Today, decision-making often centers on quarterly profits and shareholder returns rather than guest satisfaction. This corporate mindset has transformed the culture of Las Vegas. Instead of gambling tables where dealers remember your name or hotel staff who can bend the rules to make your stay memorable, many visitors encounter standardized policies, automated services, and a sense that they are simply one more transaction. What once felt personal now feels corporate. And that shift is hard to disguise beneath neon lights. For the middle class, the group that built Las Vegas into a global icon, this change has been especially damaging. In past decades, even families of modest means could save up for a Vegas vacation, confident they would find affordable hotel deals, cheap buffets, and the chance to stretch their money across days of entertainment. Now, those affordable deals are largely gone. The $4.99 prime rib special, once legendary, has been replaced with celebrity chef restaurants charging hundreds of dollars per meal. Affordable hotel rooms have been swallowed by mandatory fees and soaring weekend rates. For many working families, Las Vegas no longer feels like a place built for them. This alienation of middle-class tourists comes at a time when international competition is stronger than ever. In Asia, destinations like Macau and Singapore have created casino resorts that rival or even surpass the glitz of the Strip. These cities combine state-of-the-art facilities with luxury shopping, fine dining, and entertainment options, often without the extra layers of fees and frustrations that Las Vegas visitors complain about. For European travelers, cities like Monte Carlo or new entertainment hubs in Spain and Greece provide alternatives closer to home. Even within the United States, other destinations are challenging Vegas's dominance. Entertainment hubs like Orlando and Nashville attract millions with family-friendly attractions or live music scenes, often offering a more authentic cultural experience. Tribal casinos across the country provide closer and sometimes cheaper alternatives for those who simply want to gamble. When travelers compare their options, Las Vegas increasingly struggles to stand out as the best choice. Perhaps most telling is the shift in how younger generations view the city. Millennials and Gen Z, who represent the future of tourism, often prioritize experiences over gambling. They seek authenticity, affordability, and value-driven travel. For them, dropping hundreds of dollars on a few hours of gambling or thousands on a single weekend in Vegas doesn't carry the same appeal it did for older generations. Unless Las Vegas adapts to these new expectations, its grip on the global imagination may continue to loosen. Beyond economics and tourism, Las Vegas faces an even larger existential threat: the natural environment it depends on. The city was built in the Mojave Desert, a place never meant to sustain millions of people, massive resorts, and endless fountains of neon. For decades, water from the Colorado River made this possible, feeding homes, casinos, and artificial lakes. But the Colorado River is drying up. Years of overuse, combined with the accelerating effects of climate change, have left reservoirs like Lake Mead at record lows. Images of exposed lakebeds and abandoned marinas tell the story of a resource in crisis. Las Vegas has long been praised for its water conservation programs, recycling much of what it uses and adopting some of the strictest water rules in the country. Yet, even with these efforts, the math is unforgiving. A desert city that relies on a shrinking river cannot sustain unlimited growth. If the current trajectory continues, shortages are inevitable. This creates a paradox. While luxury mega-resorts advertise giant pools, dancing fountains, and water parks, residents and officials quietly face the reality that the very lifeline of the city is under threat. Rising temperatures compound the challenge. The Mojave Desert is getting hotter, and extreme heat waves have become more frequent and deadly. For tourists, a vacation in Las Vegas during the summer increasingly means stepping into 110-degree heat, which limits outdoor activities and discourages foot traffic on the Strip. For residents, it means higher energy bills to stay cool and greater health risks for vulnerable populations. Climate change is not just an abstract concern, it is already reshaping daily life and the future viability of the city. There is also the question of long-term livability. A city that consumes vast resources while offering little natural sustainability will eventually reach a breaking point. Unlike coastal cities threatened by rising seas, Las Vegas faces the danger of running out of water, the most basic necessity of human life. Some experts warn that unless drastic measures are taken, growth in the region could stall, forcing the city to confront limits it has long tried to ignore. In response, developers and officials are betting on technology and innovation. Desalination projects in neighboring states, stricter conservation policies, and the possibility of importing water from distant sources have all been discussed. But these solutions are expensive, politically contentious, and may not arrive fast enough to meet the challenge. The survival of Las Vegas as a global hub will depend not only on tourism, but also on its ability to solve the fundamental environmental crisis unfolding around it. The pressures of climate, water, and heat paint a stark backdrop for a city already struggling with economic and cultural shifts. When combined with rising costs, corporate consolidation, and changing global competition, Las Vegas stands at a crossroads. Its future is not guaranteed, and its ability to reinvent itself will determine whether it continues as a symbol of glamour and excess, or becomes a cautionary tale of overreach in the desert. The story of Las Vegas has always been one of reinvention, from the gangster-run casinos of the 1950s to the family-friendly experiments of the 1990s. The city has continually reshaped itself to survive changing times. But the challenges it faces today are deeper and more complex than ever before. Economic pressures, generational shifts, international competition, and environmental limits are converging all at once, forcing Las Vegas to answer a difficult question. What kind of city can it be in the 21st century? Some believe the solution lies in doubling down on entertainment and diversification. Instead of relying so heavily on gambling, which now makes up a shrinking portion of overall revenue, the city has already leaned into concerts, residencies, conventions, and sports. The arrival of professional teams like the Vegas Golden Knights in hockey and the Raiders in football marks a new direction, positioning Las Vegas not just as a gambling hub, but as a major league city. Expanding into areas like esports, cultural festivals, and immersive technology-driven attractions could help capture younger audiences and keep visitors coming back. Others argue that real change requires addressing affordability. If middle-class tourists continue to feel priced out, the city risks losing the very foundation of its customer base. Bringing back value-driven options, rethinking resort fees, and curbing some of the excess costs might restore a sense of accessibility. The success of Las Vegas in earlier decades was built on the idea that anyone could enjoy a little piece of luxury, even on a modest budget. Rediscovering that balance may be essential for the city's long-term survival. On the environmental side, the choices are starker. Without decisive action, water scarcity and rising heat could impose hard limits on growth. But investing in large-scale water solutions, whether through new technologies or interstate agreements, will determine whether the desert can continue to host a global entertainment capital. The city's future may also depend on its ability to adapt to sustainable practices. Embracing renewable energy, green building standards, and climate resilience. In a way, Las Vegas could become a test case for how desert cities around the world confront the realities of climate change. Yet, the fate of Las Vegas also carries a symbolic weight beyond the desert. For much of the world, the city has embodied the promise of America itself. Bold, flashy, ambitious, and unafraid to push limits. Its decline, if it continues, may serve as a mirror reflecting the broader struggles of the United States. Rising inequality, short-term profit over long-term vision, environmental neglect, and the slow erosion of the middle class. To some, the challenges of Las Vegas are not unique at all, but simply a concentrated version of the challenges facing the nation as a whole. What happens in Las Vegas, as the old slogan says, stays in Las Vegas. But perhaps today, the opposite is true. What happens in Las Vegas could be a warning sign for everywhere else. The choices made in the desert about growth, affordability, sustainability, and vision may foreshadow the choices countless cities will face in the decades ahead.